Arguably the best thing to happen to Jet Set Radio Future since the discovery of Quick Immortals. I'ma be honest with you folks, I have no clue what Quick Immortals is. Is that some kind of new tech perhaps? Is that like wave dashing for us? Or whatever, it's time for another game of Pinball Warrior. In this mode, bingo teams will be pitted against each other using the same bingo board to find out which team can claim the most points within the allotted time. Whichever team gains the most points will be able to claim the title of Pinball Warrior Champion! With ties broken by the fastest team. However, if it were that simple, it wouldn't be Pinball Warrior, now would it? The Bingo Wizards have crafted a diabolical bingo board with a unique gimmick designed to tear down even the most resilient bingo players. In fact, let's have a sneak peek of what we have in store this season. Hey yo, Bats, break it down for these Rudies.
This season we have an otherwise normal board. However, teams can pick a single square they wish to mark before they begin, and from that point onwards they are only allowed to mark squares that are connected to other marked squares in the cardinal directions. Can players efficiently chain their challenges, or will they run back and forth aimlessly?
Alright my people, it's time for another match of Pinball Warrior!
And we are back with more Pinball Warrior, Shovelclaws and Vaen, Team Bark at the Mailman. And with me today on commentary is...
Seventh Ace. Hello,
Hooray! We've got Pinball Ace and Ace BSI. Yes, fucking aces.
Oh, it's good to be here, Bats. I love pinball. I love pinball. Let's talk about pinball.
Let's talk about pinball. So, we're immediately seeing Shovelclaws go into Dogan. I mean, starting Square Stadium Jazz, which, you know, isn't the only team that picks this square. Depending on what order I play these in, you may know the other team.
Wow, you know, I think that's just such, couldn't be a better decision. I think whoever picks Stadium Jazz to start just has a, 500 IQ kind of brain. That's really a good choice. It knocks out one of the longest squares in the game for a single point, and it's just really well positioned with Highway Zero and Dogan nearby.
Yeah, I mean, immediately kind of comboing past statue into entrance pillar. That frees up a Kage a bit. FRZ, I mean, a lot of this stuff now is at Dark Side. You know, you've got Highway Zero directly in the entrance and graffiti. That special War Ride Alley, I think that might have been one of my more devious squares, because actually being able to combo that all in one go becomes really, really tricky, I think. Let's see. We've got Shovel going for...
that's just bus jump to get to Hikage Center with hands.
I was like, is Shovel gonna grab her? I don't remember this happening. Yes, I mean, obviously, as we all know, you can't just grab any square on the board. It has to connect to an existing square. So obviously, early on, I'm imagining we're going to see them try and open up the board as a team. And, just make more places available.
Yeah, one of the big things about this kind of bingo format is that you need to increase your surface area as much as possible. So creating as many squares that you can go to next so you can make more efficient clears. That's why Highway Zero directly under entrance has been a very quick square for almost every team that I know of within the first couple minutes. And it makes sense. So we've got a little shrimp tail looking thing right now on the board, and that's a really solid start. They've got 6 points and can get to they've kind of unlocked the Kogane area.
6 squares, 5 points. With the
that's right.
The first square is not worth a dime unless you get a bingo with it. So yeah, we're seeing an interesting start. Really, it feels like a bit of a. The thing that throws me with this one is Highway Zero directly under entrance and then leave Highway Zero. It makes sense from the perspective of trying to fill out the board as much as possible, or spread out as much as possible so you have that surface area. But as you can see now, slight issue. We've got Vaen waiting for Shovel to go do Rith.
We love waiting in here. This is
all eyes on Shovel at the worst possible time.
Everybody's been there.
Yeah.
So
The one thing, I mean, I think, what was it described as AceBats' saw torture traps for bingo. So, you know, every time I see someone having to wait for someone else to mark a square in order to mark their own square, I'm just sitting there watching, grinning. I would apologise, but I think everyone knows what they signed up for. There we go. We can see Rith has been, or will be, collected shortly. And then we will, well, presumably shortly be seeing a light wall ride.
Yeah.
Which does open up quite a bit. I mean, Bottom Point has 2 squares at the moment. Everything in Highway 0 is now available. You know, I guess directly under entrance isn't a bad thing, because obviously it's led to this point where if they wanted to, she could go to Highway 0 and just clear it out and not just have that one lingering special wall ride alley. Meanwhile, also having a solid coverage of, just having 99th Street done.
Ooh, she's jumping right. Actually going to depart from the dark side here, so is not going for those Highway 0 squares right now. That's going to be fascinating. It might be to delay until Sky Dino is collectible, but I'm not sure about that one. That's really interesting.
I mean, as long as you don't want Shibuya Cubby or top of bus, Dogen's, I was about to say a time waster. It's not a time waster, but there is a lot of time you can spend just doing the graffiti while other stuff gets done. Only issue is that Hokage Air 4 is the only way to get to Right of Streets. That square's just going to kind of chill there for now. We're just going to watch vaen as she just ignores Right of Street, even though it's on the board. I love this format so much.
Yeah, you, every time it's the sickos, but
Yes.
Bats looking at people doing pinball. We do see now the second player, vaen, in Dogen, so we've had both players in Dogen so far, and this one's going for graffiti, probably into the tape, while Shovel is looking for the Clip Soul, which will unlock Shibuya top of bus.
Yep, and I think this is my favourite thing about this format, is just when people are playing it well, obviously, each player is trying to get their own squares, but also open up more opportunities for their teammate. Like, I'm trying to think across the entirety of pinball, but it's very rare that 2 players are just in the same spot at any moment in time, because they just have their own completely separate things to do, not only for themselves but for their teammate.
Yeah, I think this has been, from a routing perspective, probably the most interesting pinball you've put together, Bats, and I'm really I'm a big fan of it. Yeah. So
I'm glad to hear that. It was a complete accident. I just come up with an idea and hope it works well.
You know what? It did, in fact, do that. We now have a Bottom Point entrance, which we do have the ability to hit Catwalk PJ Room 3, although Shovel's taking a bit of a route for it.
I'm wondering, presumably going this way, we're not going to see the sprays be sprayed. Oh! That's just unfortunate. You could just see, like, the slowdown, a bit too low, slowing down, trying to hit the blue rail, and just not quite reaching it. That is tragic, but it looks like Shovel's just going to do it the classic way.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. And that will be PJ Catwalk through 3.
Checking vaen. We
Vaen
do have the
collecting
tape up.
It's good
Very
to
important
see.
there.
I
So
mean,
that does
obviously-
give us some indications of what they want to do later.
Yeah.
Like, look at it is blocked. So a lot of Dogen and Kibo is intertwined there at the kind of right side that you can see. So we're gonna have to see that, or Sky Dino at some point. So we might see that return. Just depends on where they want to go.
I mean, just looking at the way this board kind of panned out, there's only 2 tape saws on the board, if I'm remembering correctly. And that's obviously because I was mostly just focusing on quick squares. But because of this format, that really makes Dogen Hill tape the only tape where you can kind of collect it at one point and save it for later. Because if you go, Air 4 is kind of right next to tape anyway, so it's not like it really matters. You're only wasting time if you don't pick it up.
Yeah, the only other one is Highway Zero Special, making 3.
Oh,
Stall
yes.
launch attempt alert.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh.
Too low for the boogie warp. That was
Solid
really
stall launch. Boogie Warp has ruined. It will ruin this coming season of Bingo. Let me tell you. Just get Pylon Warp. It's so good.
Oh.
Uh,
Shovel, I feel you on an emotional level. I promise.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This was why I put some Kibo squares on there. Like, Kibo
real,
is
Bats,
here.
You put Kibo on that, so that way, so you could hope that somebody accidentally discovers new movement tech.
That's true. That is always a possibility when it comes to Kibo stall launch. It's not like it's been like thoroughly explored by many people. God, Kibo stall launch is wacky movement tech. But we're gonna see shovelclaws go to Boogie and vaen going into Garage, which is interesting because presumably Air 3 is the play right now. Get Boogie, Air 3, lower platform, which, nice little combination, opens up a lot of the board. But vaen not going to be in Shibuya anymore. She is going over to Dark Side, which I think is basically just Highway Zero. I mean, there's Sky Dino there, but 3 squares, one of them is graffiti. Seems pretty good. It's a shame that Shovel's just going to have to leave without lower platform under wires.
It's so tempting. You're right.
It's all. Again, I'm just there like the sicko is like, yes, pass by a soul that's technically on the board that you can't pick up. But Kibo especially, you're not coming back for that. Like, you drop down that drop, and you're just gone. There's no returning.
Yeah, so that kind of indicates to me, and we'll see. Yeah, Shovel's going to go out, and with just 4 minutes left, is going to try and do a Shibuya side cleanup, and vaen's going to try and do this Highway Zero plus Sky Dino cleanup. So Highway Zero graffiti on the board extremely fast, should be done in plenty of time, and so we'll look for that. We'll look for Soda, Highway Zero Special all together, and see what Shovel can pick up in the last 3.5 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Dogen Air 3, Shibuya Graffiti, Hikage Air 4, potentially Dogen Writer Street, as long as Hikage gets picked up, because that's the only connecting square that could be potentially picked up at this point. Weirdly enough, seeing an entrance into Dogen Sake, I mean, there's part of me that thinks, I mean, it's easy for me to sit back and say this is what I would do, right? But it kind of feels weird because Air 3 you can grab, but you've got to go past Router Street going from this direction. If you get Air 4, maybe you could do more. But time is a factor right now. With 3 minutes left, vaen is going to be committing to Highway Zero for not too much longer, but still kind of coming out of Highway Zero, coming back into the main area of the map, or going to Sky Dino. That's also going to take time. So we're just kind of seeing a mad rush to get as many points as possible.
Yeah, there's Highway Zero Special unlocked, so that's available for pickup relatively quickly. The out of bounds, not quite viable right this second, unless vaen wants to come back for graffiti later, because there are 2 after here. She is just going to go ahead and clean that up real quick, secure out the Highway Zero Bingo plus graffiti in just a second, boosting their score to 25. Oof. And that will be where they're at now.
Gotta love a graffiti into a bingo. Gotta love a graffiti into a bingo.
Yeah, great.
Huge
vaen going
points.
back for the out of map, while Shovel's going for Hikage Air 4 to try and convert that into what I'm going to assume is Dogen Right of Street Bingo with just 2 minutes left now.
Yep, so there we go. That's the tape. I mean, if you're getting tape, we're gonna see Air 4. Soda Race has begun. Everyone's favourite race. I want to rephrase that, but it's too late to do so. So we're going to see vaen race Soda. Meanwhile, shovelclaws is grabbing Hikage Air 4, which does free up Dogen Rider Street, finally out of corner square jail.
I will say this board is devious. The way you kind of barred in Shibuya Cubby and Dogen Ride of Street, especially, and even Shibuya Top of Bus, and all the corner squares are walled in with stuff you can't get nearby. Even Hikage Air 4 is a long way away from Dogen Ride of Street. It's kind of nasty.
Yeah, I mean that was part of the design process. I mean, myself and one of the not 7th A, shockingly, one of the bingo organizer got together and were like, okay, how do we just make this a bit more mean?
Unnamed confidant.
Unnamed, yes, and there we go. That is Soda unlocked. So we've got another bingo, and let's see, we've got 30 seconds left, so that should be more than enough time for Special in Highway 0. I think beyond that, there's not time for anything else, so let's look at shovelclaws with about 15 seconds. Rider Street should be easy enough to grab. But let's see. 10 seconds left. And
easy,
boom,
not close.
one final bingo. And with that, that is time with a score of 33 points. I mean, really well done. We've got the E formation as well. Love to see it. And that puts Spark right behind Rollerblades at a whopping 33 points. We've still got 2 teams to go and all to play for. Catch us next time at Jet Set Radio Future Bingo Pinball Warrior.